Good evening to all of you, and welcome to another session of Java lectures. And in this lecture, we will discuss about how to take input in Java. Taking input in Java is not a common task which is performed in Java. That's why taking input is given less relevance in while designing the Java programming language. Okay. However, they given the provision that if at all any program requires any input, that can be achieved through the class that is been defined for taking the input. We already know that system.out, okay, in the system class, out is an object which is referred to the output stream, okay, and we know that we have already used the methods like print and println to print something to the standard output device. Similarly, system also has an object in, but in out are of different type. Okay, in is related to the standard input device. Okay, so input stream, we say that it's an object of input stream. However, we know that we already know about the same kind of objects, stream objects in C++. There, those C objects are just like out is directly associated with the output device, our console, whatever our display device is. Whereas in the system.in, in is a generic input stream object. In is not directly associated with the standard input device. Okay, we have to, it is associated with the standard input device, but there is no provision that we can use the in directly object in the program, in the Java program, okay, and take input from the input device. Okay, that provision is not provided in Java. Only out is permitted. In, though it's an input stream object, but you are not allowed to use it directly, okay, in your program. Just like you remember C in C++. If you have used C++, you know that we can use the scene object, which is a input stream object, okay, in defined in IO stream, and we can use that directly, okay, using the redirection operator, the extraction insertion operator. We can get the input. But here system.in, though the in object referred to the standard input device, it is not directly supported in Java. Okay, that's why what Java has done, okay, it is provided a generic thing. Okay, so whenever it depend upon your need, you can use the particular class input taking in the class which is defined for taking input, depending upon whether you want to take the input from a file or a standard input device or any other source input source. Okay, so taking that into account, there are some generic classes. Okay, mostly the classes in the utility. You will see that in the utility library package we have all these classes. Okay, so the first class that we are going to discuss is the scanner class. All right, to take input, we use first the very commonly used object, the class is the scanner class. All right, and to create an object of the scanner class using and we have to link it. All right, we create an object and we associate this object with the system.in, so that whatever input is taken will be, okay, streamed to this to this object, and we can, using this object, we can take all the input information that has been input as streams that has been provided from the keyboard. All right, and so just like other object declaration, the standard object declaration of the scanner is something like this: scanner. So object name is input, new scanner, and we provide here system.in because we want to associate this object input with the standard input device. Okay, so we provide system.in. All right, now using input and its built-in methods, okay, which is already been defined in the scanner class, we can take the input. So here is the list of methods that has been defined in the scanner class, and depending upon the type of input you want to take, you can use the corresponding method. So to take byte, okay, to short, integer, long, we just use the next byte, next short, next int. Okay, just use the method next along with the data type, the primitive data type that you want to take it. All right, so you can see that it supports everything. Okay, byte, short, integer, long, float, double, depend upon what input you're taking. Now there is also a generic method next to read a string that ends with white space. Suppose you want, just like you remember %s in C programming language, so where we can take string that ends with space. Okay, it is not going to take any character that has been provided after the space character. So space is considered as the limiter when ending the string. All right, so we can use next to take the string till the space. Now suppose your input string might contain its white space character. All right, in that case you can use another method, that is the last one, that next line, to read a complete line of text including the white space. So it only ends, the line only ends when you press enter key, the next line key. So here is an example. So these examples are very simple, you can see that. So you're using this is available in the utility package. So you have to import java.util.start. So just you need to start to import everything that is there in the util package. All right, so we define an object of scanner by using scanner new scanner. All right, and we are printing enter the number of radius. Then we input a double value radius, okay, a variable radius, by using the input object, then dot next double. So it will read the, okay, whatever the input value, okay, a double value from the keyboard and store in the variable radius, and we can use, you can see that then area is computed using the radius. So just for verification, let us run this program and see. The class, the file name is console input. All right, so Java. Now just let us see the program here also. All right, this is the program. It is come to radius and it is going to print the circle area, okay, using the radius. Okay, so Java console input. So it is now asking for the radius and waiting for to take a double value. Okay, let me give 12.56. all right, so area of the circle with radius 12.56. okay, that is computing the value. This is the area of the circle. All right, so this is how we can use scan. So now instead of this in next double, you can use the appropriate method depending upon which input you want, whether you want to take input an integer or a byte or a short or a float. So use the, or a string, you can use the corresponding method. Simple, very simple to take the input. Then is another way, but only when you want to obtain a character based string. Okay, only it is useful when you are using a character string. All right, so this is the class is this is a buffer. We have to create a buffer reader object. So buffer reader class is there. Okay, so it will support the buffered input stream. All right, whatever is buffered from the input stream, we can, using this object, we can read this and store in a object, and we can use that object. Okay, so you can see how to create an object, that is buffer reader br, the name of the object is br, then new buffer reader, and within that buffer reader, okay, need an input stream reader. All right, so another object is created, new input stream reader, where we pass system.in to, so a input stream reader for standard input device is created, and that is passed to the buffer reader to buffer the input from this reader to the buffer reader so that we can read it. All right, so here br is the character based stream that is linked to the console via using the input stream reader object. Okay, so to read it, we just use the method read. You can see that we are in this line we are using read. Read will you read the next character. Okay, next character that has been read, and it doesn't matter how it can take anything. It's just a buffer of, it will treat the input as a character string. Okay, so when you are using the string, then it is appropriate. If you use this buffer reader to take input like numeric input, then I don't think it is a right way to do that. There you need, and you might need another method. There are methods to convert them into again the character string of a number back into equivalent numeric value. All right, so it is suitable for taking the character string. Okay, so you can see that we are using a do while loop, and we are prompting the user to give Q to terminate the input stream. All right, so as long as the user is not providing Q, okay, or we are not reading through the read method, we are not reading a Q character, so it will keep on reading, this loop will keep on going. All right, okay, let's see an example of this buffer reader. Okay, so it is asking enter set of characters that should end with, so just enter Q to quit. All right, so I will write a Q in the one line only. Then at the end I need to write Q, so I am adding a Q at here. All right, so I am ensuring that there is no Q in between, and what is going to, it is going to read each character and print it. All right, so you can see that it is reading one by one character, and using system println it is printing it. Because I am taking the help of println, so it will print each character in the new line. All right, you can see the output here. So all whatever what I have provided, every character will be read by the read method, and is going to print including Q. Okay, only this Q character act as the terminating the to terminate the do while loop. All right, so to terminate do while I am using, otherwise you can keep on reading, or depend upon how many characters. If you know in advance how many characters the user is going to enter, we can read it. All right, now there is an alternate way also. Suppose you know you want to read a line. Okay, that also can be done, because you want to take entire line by line, you take the input as line by line. That is also possible. In that case, use the method read line. Okay, it will keep, so br read line will always wait till the user provide a line. Okay, it will read it. Okay, and we are storing that into the string str. All right, so br is the object, so buffer reader object dot read line, storing the string, and you can use this string. Okay, so you can see that I am using a do while loop to keep on reading the lines until we are saying that when the user want to stop, you can give the stop, and I am checking a condition here just on the string. Okay, because I am using a string objects here. I will discuss about string object later, because we're going to do. Okay, remember this is part, the buffer reader is part of IO package. Okay, so you must include Java IO package for using buffer reader, and must use util package for using scanner. All right, you must remember that. Okay, don't forget that lines, those lines. All right, so let's see this example, how we can read line by line using read line of a buffer reader object. Java read line. Sorry. Oh, very sorry. Mistake, it became a capital. Okay. Okay. So enter lines of task. So let me write my name for the first line. Okay. So it is taking input and printing again. Let me make a small change to to show that I want which string has been read. Okay, input string, not here, sorry, not here. Let us modify in the program itself. Stop. Okay, I'll use vi to be lines. Okay, yes, so let us modify here. So to make it very clear that whether it is printing correctly or not. Okay, so here I am going to print input string, input line is and plus, okay, the string. Okay, that's it. so that whatever line is read, it will be immediately will be printed by using the system println statement. Okay, let us compile again. Okay, ready, so run it. Okay, so enter lines of text and enter stop to quit. Okay, so first line, as I am writing my name, then yes, input line is again, yeah, I forgot a space, sorry for that. All right, then okay, done. Okay, I will just keep on writing whatever is the line until you are not writing stop. The do while loop is not going to stop, so the keyword is stop, so you have to, until it doesn't match with the stop, it will keep it right. Okay, whatever I did, I'm writing some garbage lines also. Okay, still it takes work. So want to stop, I will just use the key stop. Okay, it's going to print stop, and after comparison with the condition, terminating condition, it is going to stop. All right, so this is how we can use both the read method and read line method of the buffer reader object to take the inputs, okay, a single character as well as the entire line. Then the most common, actually one of the reason behind not providing a direct object to take input is that mostly when Java was when designed, okay, set the target the command line argument. So mostly it was used in the command line argument. So when it's compiled during the command line arguments, okay, or in a command line, okay, in that case it mostly take the command. So inputs can be easily provided through the command line arguments. So still that provision is there, like when you can see that I am running the Java program through the command prompt. All right, so I have the provision to provide command line argument, and I have told you in the beginning only, the first class when we discussed about the main method, that the string args, whatever you see as an argument of main method, is the string of command line argument. So all what are the argument string, okay, multiple strings, okay, or separated by space, all will be stored in this array. Okay, and we can refer each argument by the corresponding index. All right, so the first argument is stored at args 0, then second argument args 1, and so on. And remember how to provide it. When you are executing, after writing the executing command, you write the each argument by separating by space, okay, by space character. That's it. All right, let us see this example, how we can take the input through command line argument. So depend upon how many, but remember these are all in the form of string. Now suppose you are taking number, there we should use some parsing methods that we will discuss later on, okay, when we discuss some Java packages. Okay, there are methods which can convert a number which is stored in the string format into its equivalent value in the numeric format, double or int, okay, also all this, okay, these are also available. These methods are very common in Java or JavaScript, and okay, these are very commonly available. Okay, so no issue about that. Okay, so make sure, but it is taking in the string format. Don't try to assign them directly to an integer or any numeric type. So just for verification, let's see how we can take this one. Command line. So Java command line, all right, then I will write my argument. So first argument is, let's say I will say NIT Jamshedpur, okay, DCA MCA, I'm giving a number of, okay, DCA MCA, let's say just some terms, okay, just to show that. Okay, all right, so your Java, the command Java and the file you are compiling is not considered this. So your from NIT it begins the arguments. Okay, so this is we refer by the index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. You can give as much as you want. Okay, all right, you can see. So I'm just printing based on that. So our first argument is NIT Jamshedpur DC. Okay, so all argument can be referred. So when you are taking input as input as in the form of string, then these are really helpful. This is very helpful to do that. Okay, or in case do you want to it is mandate that you have to use the command line argument, then you can use some method to convert them into the numeric value to double, okay, pass to float, pass integer, or all these things can be used. All right, this is another way to take the input from the command line. So those who are using command line, running the program in command line, helpful. Okay, then we have know that one concept which is not related to the input, but it is passing the value to a method. All right, so variable length argument. All right, till now we have seen that the traditional way to pass a variable length argument is to provide a blank square bracket as an argument. Okay, so suppose we are passing an array. All right, so let's say we are passing an array, but size is not fixed. The array size could vary. All right, the array size could vary. In that case, the very common way, the traditional way, is that we can give a blank square bracket in the argument, in the function, the method argument, okay, to indicate that the size may vary. All right, and we can use the length field of every variable which is already defined. Okay, so to know what is the length. Okay, and we know that for each method you can use to print that. Okay, this is an example showing that. Okay, so this is the one, but in Java this also can be done in a better way. So Java provide a syntax to receive a variable length argument in any method. All right, so let us see that is, okay, by triple dot, which also called that 3 periods. Okay, so period is by 1 dot. Okay, so triple dot, so a variable length argument is specified by 3 periods. Okay, so example, suppose it will take an input array size, but the length it may be a variable length argument. So we mention in the data type int, then triple dot, 3 period, then the variable, the array variable. Okay, so that here this indicate that starting word, this is starting method. Okay, that this, okay, this is a variable length. This length is not fixed. Okay, that 5 or 6 or 10 not fixed. So this syntax tells the compiler that this can be called with 0 or more arguments. Okay, so argument length is not limit to any one, so it can be 0 or more arguments. Okay, so as a result we simply declared as an array. Okay, array of type integer. So v becomes an array of type integer. All right, and and inside it v will become just like an array. Only thing is that the length is not fixed. Okay, length may vary from 0 to higher, more. Okay, so we can use we can use v just like an array inside the called method. That is, this for here it is a var test. Okay, all right. Remember, the var length parameter must be the last argument in the list, and there must be only one variable argument. We cannot have multiple variable length argument. That is a restriction here. And the second restriction is that the only variable argument parameter should be present as the last argument in the list of argument. That means we can take multiple along with a variable argument parameter, we can also take other parameters. Okay, all right, because it is the only one valuable argument we can take in a function argument. However, this has to be at the end. Okay, cannot be in the middle or cannot be the first argument of the function the method defined. Okay, so here is an example. You can see the same, we have modified a little bit. Now no more blank square bracket here, int triple dot v. So this indicates that this we can take an array, okay, of integer type, definitely of any length, maybe a blank, maybe of 0 length, maybe of 1 length. So we can see that we are passing here, in this way. Okay, either we can pass an array of a variable size, or we can pass directly a 10 so it automatically converted into an array and received and stored in the variable b. Okay, so first you can see one argument, the 10, second is 1 2 3, 3 arguments, last one is nothing. Okay, 0 arguments. All right, and let us run it and see this one. Alright, you can see that. So we are printing this information in the method, okay, in the var arg method, alright, var test, sorry, method, alright. So simply using for each syntax, okay, for each for loop, we are printing them, okay, in each line. So first only one argument, 3 argument, no arguments. That's it. Okay. So this is one of the feature which is supported in Java, which was not there in the programming languages we have learned before this. All right. Next, as I told, that it can take along with a variable argument parameter. Okay, we can take other parameters also. Okay. However, this is the only one. Okay, we can take exactly one variable argument parameter, and it must be present at the end. Okay, the rightmost, it must be the rightmost argument. All right, you can see that we are taking along with it, we are also taking a string, okay, the message. All right, and this is the variable argument. This is the only variation. All right, so it can be used, so depending upon how you, what program you are writing, okay, it requires a variable argument to be passed, so we can use it efficiently. Okay, so yes, that's all for this lecture about input and the variable length parameter in Java. Thank you all.